All right, we're back out here live at the Trump campaign watch party, joined by Florida's own Congressman Byron Donalds. Welcome, and it seems to be a great crowd. It's early. I know polls will stay open to 8, but people are already gathered already.
Oh, look, it's a great crowd in here already. I was in the crowd talking with a lot of people. They're excited here in New Hampshire. And look, I think it's going to be excellent what we're going to see tonight. It's time that our party unites, gets behind Donald Trump. I think we're going to have a big victory that's going to demonstrate that, and then we move forward.
About an hour ago, less than an hour ago, I was talking about the difference between a Trump and somebody who endorses Trump and someone who's a Trump loyalist. I literally name dropped you and said that you were a loyalist from day one. And there is a difference. There's people who come along for the ride because it's for political purposes. But I love the people like you that truly embody the America First agenda and President Trump.
First of all, the agenda is about our people. President Trump embodies that. He's been promoting that from day one. But it's about the American people so they can thrive, so they can succeed. So when you have somebody come along like Donald Trump and you say, who are you going to support? It's easy. Let's get behind him and let's get the job done. You know, I think some people are in this game for titles and they want to be important. I don't care about that stuff. I came to this to fight for people, to make sure that our government does the right thing. You got to have them back in the White House because we need leadership in this country. We don't need capitulation. We don't need weak deals. We need leadership. He provided it. He showed this party how to fight on principle and how to fight, frankly, the media and put the truth out and actually get the job done. And we need to have that back in the White House.
Okay, you spent your time driving not only around Iowa, but around New Hampshire as well. What are people telling you that is the most crucial element in their personal life of why they need President Trump back?
Immigration, inflation, the foreign policy. Some people do bring that up about how chaotic things are, but there's a real sense that America's on decline. There was that sense when Barack Obama was president, and it's in spades now with Joe Biden. I mean, everything has gone wrong. And so people realize fully now and they understand, and it's not just MAGA supporters, it's Republican voters, it's independent voters, it's minority voters. They've seen in Iowa, they've seen in New Hampshire, and they've seen throughout this country that Donald Trump had the recipe. He had that secret sauce. He had the prescription for a prosperous America, and they want to see that again.
Do you see more and more Americans that might have been independent or maybe agnostic to voting at all? Do you see them this election coming over and voting for President Trump for maybe the first time in their entire life?
Oh, I do. I'd see it in big ways, man. I have old friends, old family members. You know, they've been texting me about Trump for the last couple of years. Like, man, can we have Trump back? This thing is crazy. That's what they've been wanting to see. And I'm telling you, as I've traveled the country, supporting other candidates, supporting people to get our government in order, you start talking to voters in airports, in diners, you know, on no matter where you are, they come up and they ask questions. And more they talk about how good the country was running when Donald Trump was president. I think we're going to see big things happen this fall in our country. We got to get through this primary process, but I think this will be over probably tonight.
I think so too. And you know, and of course, I asked President Trump earlier when we met him on the road if he's going to pivot to more of the head-to-head campaign with Biden. He said, look, I've been doing that from day one, attacking this administration. I don't need to pivot now. I pivoted a long time ago.
Oh, no, that's right. He's been focused on Joe Biden. I believe that's exactly what he and his campaign should have been doing this entire time. Look, in our party, it's clear. Our voters want Donald Trump. He's going to be the nominee. So spending too much time and resources focused on Nikki Haley or anybody else when they were in the race was not going to be important and not helpful. It is about the rematch. It's about who did a better job, the 45th or the 46th. And without question, it was the 45th president who's soon to become the 47th president.
Okay, let's turn our attention to what's happening on Capitol Hill right now. Obviously, in a slight break, when you guys go back, is there anything on your agenda, or what do you think should be done in the House? I know I always say that Mike Johnson's in a very tight position right now because he's trying to work with the Democrats on the funding in Ukraine, which I think that you and I would all disagree that we do not like. And he's trying to do something for the border. I mean, we need a good border security and secure our border. But what can we look forward to on Capitol Hill when you guys get back into session?
Well, look, the first thing is that we have to demonstrate that we are prepared to lead in the House of Representatives because the Senate has done nothing. They've been lazy. They have not done any work this entire Congress. You already know what Joe Biden's about. So there has to be some leadership on Capitol Hill. So my message to the Speaker and to House Republicans is demonstrate leadership. Stand for something. Stand for a position, and you have to hold that line. If it means government is shut down because Joe Biden wants a porous border, then that's Joe Biden's fault, and that's his responsibility as president of the United States. But we have to demonstrate leadership. We can do that with border security. We could do it with actually cutting spending in Washington, D.C. And then actually we've done great things on the energy situation in our country. Everybody talks about H.R. 2, but H.R. 1 is the most robust, all of the above energy plan that's ever passed either chamber in Congress. We passed it last year. It's a great energy bill. Those are the things that we should stand on. I know there are people who say, oh, but you got to be able to govern. Well, what we've seen is that governing means you cut a bad deal with the Democrats in the Senate, and then everybody says, oh, we finally did something. But the reality is the American people have seen nothing, or things got worse.
No, you're right. They want accountability. We've often said that. Speaking of accountability, Mayorkas is set for a vote in the committee on July 31st. I'm not sure when that's going to get brought to the floor. I'm sure you agree with the majority of your conference that Mayorkas needs to be impeached.
He's lied to Congress. Yeah. He's lied to Congress repeatedly, and everybody knows it. He has not faithfully executed the laws of the land. Neither has Joe Biden, for that matter. So in my view, if you're going to impeach Mayorkas for this, then Joe Biden should be right there with him. But that's my view. He's not done the job. He's been awful at this job. Even Jay Johnson, who worked under Obama, said that if this was a situation, it would be a catastrophe, a crisis. It will be apocalyptic at our southern border. And that's what this man has done. He deserves to go. Nobody should advocate for him staying. He has been the worst.
Yeah. If I'm not mistaken, Byron, has some of the Democrats along the Texas border, even the state reps, they support the border being secure. Like, they know what's happening across their districts. Am I right on that?
Oh, no, you're right. Yeah. If you talk to them when the cameras aren't on, they will tell you how much of a problem this is. There's a handful who have said it publicly, but they don't point the finger at Joe Biden because he is the master of disaster. He's the one that created this. But look, Democrat voters, independent voters, they know who's at fault here. And I believe they're going to come home to the Republican Party. They're going to back Donald Trump.
And, of course, all of the conflicts in the Middle East, and you got Ukraine, Russia. We had civility in the world on Trump's watch. Now I think the world's in chaos. And I went out of the country not too long ago, and they said, look, the eyes of the world are on the United States. Like, we're looking to you guys to show us that freedom can be defended and individual liberty can be defended in this country. And, man, Byron, the world is watching us right now.
The world is. What they see is we have a commander-in-chief who, frankly, doesn't even know what day it is half the time. He gets lost in a bike shop. That's not leadership on the world stage. It harms us internationally. But the world was more safe. There were peace accords breaking out across the world. You had Israel and Arab nations joining together in peace when Donald Trump was president, something that the radical left said that was never going to happen. Under Joe Biden's presidency, we have lost 4 embassies. 4 of them. Nobody talks about it, but that is the fact. That's never happened to an American president. I mean, this guy let Jimmy Carter off the hook as the worst president. But we can fix all that. But it takes leadership in America. It takes leadership in the White House. And that's why I implore the I implore not just Republican voters, but all voters. Yeah. It's time to change leadership for a better America. We have a candidate that can get that done.
All right, Byron is definitely the good one in Washington. If you want to follow Byron and all of the things that you're doing, because you're fighting on Capitol Hill. I see you. You're doing God's work. You're doing what this country needs to be done. How can people follow you? What's the best way to keep in touch with what you're doing? What you're doing?
Everything is at Byron Donalds. At Byron Donalds, X, Facebook, Instagram. Go there. Follow me. Would love everybody just to be able to just watch what we're trying to accomplish. And it's not just about the politics. It's about energy policy, financial regulation. We really believe we can get this country on track, and we're going to fight hard every single day.
Okay, before I let you go, what percentage do you think President Trump gets tonight? Some of the political consultants say that if he doesn't drop 61, 62 percentage points on Nikki Haley, it would be considered a disaster. I say this: if you've got a sports team and you drop 60 points, on a team, and they got 12 and you got 60, that's domination. But what do you think at the end of the night? What percentage point gets dropped on?
So look, my honest view is I think it's going to be well over 55% of the vote, but it doesn't matter. Nikki Haley has to demonstrate she can win a state. She's not going to demonstrate that. She's going to lose in New Hampshire tonight. I think the margin is going to be pretty big. And then when you start looking at the polling in these other states, Nevada, South Carolina, Florida, when you start looking down the road, it gets worse, not better. So as far as I'm concerned, all we need is a victory tonight. We're going to have that victory, by the way. Nikki Haley has to prove she can win a state, and she's not going to be able to prove it. This race is over. On to November.
The strength of schedule gets worse. Byron Donalds, one of my favorites in D.C. Thank you so much for spending time with us tonight. I know you're busy. You've got a lot of people trying to pull you away, but thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you very much. All right.